Today's tutorial is a lavender terracotta pot. I'll be using Reeves paper, which is a textured paper, and I purchased this from Officeworks here in Australia. My paints are the Mungyo pan set, of which I'll be using purple, indigo and grey, red, brown, dark green, light green, and a mop brush on this occasion. To start off, I'll be doing the top of the pot, the middle of the pot. Step 3 will be the lavender itself, and step 4 will be the shadowing. To start off with, I use the mop brush wet to outline the top of the terracotta pot, and then I bring in the red brown to the top of the already wet paper. And I continue to shape the top of that terracotta pot very lightly, moving the brush accordingly to the size that I want this top of the pot. Then I want to come in with the mop brush on an angle, leaving a little bit of a gap, and then shaping the bottom of the pot a little bit thinner than the top of the pot and angling down the sides. And I'll play around with this until I'm happy with the shape. So that may mean coming out with the top of the rim of the pot again. Once I'm happy with the shape, I come in with a bit of a wash, just using the same brown, and then coming in a little bit richer with my red brown using my mop brush. The paper's already wet, so the paint will disperse nicely. And I'll continue to play around and drop in some of that red brown into the top rim of the pot, and then bring it down through the base of the pot. Now when I'm totally happy with where I'm at, I'll assess it and say, okay, I'm ready now for the next step. I'm just cleaning up the edges. And when I'm totally happy with that, I'm going to come in with a little bit more red brown and some indigo and mix that together, and then I'm just going to drop it in wet to give a bit of variation and depth in colour. I'll use a hairdryer to dry it off, and then I'll come in again with those darker values, the red, brown and the indigo together. And I'm using the mop brush not overly wet, and then I'm going to come in with my dark green and my lighter green, and I'm going to randomly draw in the branch or the tips of the lavender, and they're going to be random and at different heights and different angles. When I'm happy with those, then I'm going to come in with my green, and I'm randomly going to crisscross using the tip of my mop brush to give the illusion of leaves, and I'm leaving some white spots, so this is where the light is shining through. And then I'm going to work my way up some of these stems in a crisscrossy, just the top tip of that mop just touching these stems and giving the illusion that there are some leaves. And then I want to really work in a little bit of that water and the green, and I'm happy for that to merge through down to the bottom of that terracotta pot, because it's almost creating a shadow of sorts. And then I'm just dipping in some more greens and working my way through the leaves, giving depth. And then coming back up, doing a few fine lavender leaves, and again dropping in a bit of darker colour. Ideally you want the purple lavender buds to look like this, so what we're going to do is we're going to come in with the purple, drop it in thick, and then dot it out. So here is a slower version of that. I'm coming in with the rich purple, and I'm going to start thick on the base, and then I'm going to use the tip of the mop brush and just dot and dot it out to give that lavender shape. And you do that throughout the entire painting for your lavender buds. And then coming in with some indigo, which will deepen the lavender and give it a deeper value. And I'm going to use that indigo in the leaves as well. That just gives more variation and different values to the leaves. And then the red, brown and indigo, I'm mixing that up again, and then I'm coming into the pot. I'm going to play around with that left hand side and deepen the red brown. And again, working the mop brush to where I feel that I want the colour. And I'm just going to water it down a little bit and drag it across and clean up my edges. And I want the pot to look a little bit watery. Now my light source is coming from the right, so now I'm going to bring in my grey and I'm going to angle in some shading. Now as I do that, I'm thinking about my light source coming from the right, so just like the pear tutorial that I did. And then when I've popped in that grey, I'm going to come in with some indigo and a wet in wet and just drop that blue into the grey and use the mop brush just to tidy up where it's a little bit too dark and tidy up those edges. And then I'm going to come in and then just join the top rim of that pot and the bottom rim and tidy up any bits that I feel that need to be tidied up. And there you have it, one lavender pot. Very easy. I thank you for watching, and if you haven't joined, please come and join us at Let It Run Watercolor Art on Facebook.